This rotary table made its way from a scrapyard to my garage about 8 years ago. I cleaned it, fed it, gave it a nice home on a shelf, and I never used it once because I didn't have any convenient way to hold stuff on the damn thing. Ideally, I would have made a fancy universal fixturing plate, but I didn't and still don't have the resources to make one of those. However, I came up with something a bit more specialized but miles cheaper to make, miles easier to make, and in a way more adaptable than a fixturing plate. I like to call it locating clamp. It all starts with 4 mild steel blanks like this. Well, almost. This guy here has some extra weight to shave off first. I could thin it down directly on the milling machine, but the bend so it's faster works by itself, doesn't dull end mill set. At the end you're left with some usable materials instead of a bunch of sharp chips. Next, I'm squaring the stock and make all 4 blocks the same size, which is the most trivial thing to do in machining, but it's like foreplay. If you don't put enough care and joy into it, all subsequent operations are seriously at risk. For example, I learned to enjoy prepping the stock because I get a kick out of aligning all the squared and sized blocks on the surface plate and feel a continuous surface all the way across. But enough with the intimacy, let's build this thing. To start, I'll secure a wide stop on the front jaw. This little thing will be my best friend for the whole project because I can just set all my references on one block and quickly repeat the setup across all 4, swapping blocks in and out of the vise in the exact same position every time. Huge time saver. Now we just need to put a few round holes in this square peg. The first one is a rimmed 6mm hole to hold the locating pin. The next one is an M6 for clamping the located part, which I'm too much of a pussy to power tap all the way through, and the other is an 8mm hole for the M8 screw that will hold the clamp in place on the rotary table. After repeating the drill on the other 3 parts, it's time to work on more interesting features, namely the recess for the integrated clamp and the step that gives the parts clearance from the rotary table's table. The recess is a 8mm slot, 10mm deep. Tolerances aren't critical here, so I could just use an 8mm end mill, ignore the fact that the conventional cutting action on this side of the cutter will pull into the material slightly more than its 8mm diameter, and peacefully live with a slightly oversized slot. Instead, I start with a 7mm drilled hole and plunge with a 8mm end mill. Then I use the same end mill to open up the front and switch to a 6mm end mill to cut the actual slot exactly 8mm wide. The goal here is to make it as precise as possible for no other reason than when it will come the time to actually keep some type tolerances, I'll be ready, or at least proficient enough to know what I did wrong. Next is the clearance step that hopefully will allow me to mill and drill through the head parts without plowing the rotary table. Since it's just a prototype, I've designed these parts to be milled from mild steel in one setup. If it works well, I'd like the clamping surfaces to be hardened, something I can't do on my own yet. But I can change the design slightly, turning the step into a hardened insert, and ring my good friends at PCBWay that are sponsoring this video to heat treat and ground some tool steel for me. They offer all kinds of metalworking services, from 5-axis machining to turning to EDM wire cutting to laser cutting, grinding, heat treating, metal 3D printing. Their website is basically how I cheat myself out of something I'm not equipped to make. And since I only have a milling machine, it's quite a lot. And if you're on a tight budget, they're running a sale for their 11th anniversary. So check the link in the description, because a nice discount combined with a cost-effective design can get you the parts you need without breaking the bank. Thank you PCBWay for supporting the channel. Meanwhile, in my steel land, I've finished all the 4 pieces and I'm checking how good I've been at keeping things leveled. And well, it looks like overall I'm 1/10 of a millimeter off. That's half a mile in imperial. It might have something to do with my lawyer-like habit of keeping abusing end mills long after they're dead, so I quickly switched to a cutter that can still cry for mercy, 0 on the thinner step, skim cut the others, and I'm within half a thou across the board. Well, I guess I'll just have to surrender to the fact that I'll have to buy new end mills every once in a while. Next on the butcher's block are the clamps. This time to square the stock I'm using a trick I picked up from Joe Pye a while back, where you pinch just a bit of material in the vise and work your way around and on the top with an end mill. Then do the other side, and then you can clamp the piece square and parallel and mill it down to size. I don't use this technique very often because I generally like the fly cutter better, but for small pieces like these, it's super fast, convenient and, well, as easy as pie. These clamps get 3 holes as well, an M6 that this time gets gloriously power tapped, a standard 6mm hole and a rimmed 6mm hole. Then I have to cut the mating part that goes into the 8mm slot I was yapping about before, which is nothing to write home about, but to round the end I want to try shaving the corners with my 4mm corner radius cutter on both sides. To zero the cutter I touch on the top and the sides, pull back a couple of thou, zero the DRO and then send the cutter on its way. It's fast and it's not too bad, just need a bit of sanding. And the fit is pretty nice too. Now to finish these parts I'll need the actual rotary table, but there are a couple of things I'll have to do before taking down the vise. The first one is to shorten these nuts I made a while back, so I will be able to use these little handy clamps on this rotary table. And the second is to make a set of nuts dedicated to the locating clamps. Nothing very exciting really, at least until I was about to crash the slitting saw arbor into the vise top. An important reminder to stay focused on the activity at hand when you film yourself doing stuff alone in the garage. In my defense though, that oil gliding on the blade was pretty trippy to watch. And one last thing, we need some kind of fixture to center the parts on the rotary table and take care of these rounds. I'm not a big fan of making one-off fixtures, but in this case I have no choice. It's just a plate with a 6mm rimmed hole to hold the 6mm pin and locate the part, and that lower section to clamp it on the rotary table itself. Now I can take down the vise and finally mount this rotary table on the milling machine for the very first time. In fact, I don't even know if this thing runs straight, and my first impression isn't fantastic, but I believe a poor cleaning job and questionable assembly could be blamed for this amount of deviation, so for the moment we'll ignore the fact that I was responsible for both those operations and just adjust the center of the table to run slightly less out of whack. With that out of the way, we can finally indicate the table on the milling machine. So, first I want to align the vertical axis of the rotary table parallel to the y-axis of the milling machine. Now we can finally indicate the table to the spindle. I could take out this plug and indicate around the central bore, but sweeping inside holes I know nothing about isn't really my thing. I want to use a technique that, like most of what I know about machining, comes from Stefan Gotteswinter. He calls it single point indicator and start with a cylindrical reference, which luckily doesn't have to be a perfect round. Then you look for the high spot at 0 degrees, set the indicator to 0, set the DRO to 0, and then look for the high spot at 180 degrees. Bring the indicator to 0 with the y-axis, and you get an arbitrary number on the DRO. Divide it by 2, and when you crank to 0, you're very close to the center on the y-axis. Then I repeat the operation on the x-axis at 90 and 270 degrees, and with another round of finessing I get zeros all around. The big advantage of this method is that you indicate the actual center of rotation of the table, regardless of the fact that the central bore could be slightly out of center or out of round. Let's finally use this thing. I center the fixture using a pin, and I line it up against a square in a 1-2-3 block. It's not exactly precision, but it's good enough for the task at hand. Little handy clamps, and after aligning and clamping the piece, I can finally bring this rotary table out for a spin. I start slow, as you always should, and aside for a bit of stiffness that will require a complete teardown I don't currently have the time for, the thing ain't too shabby for being straight out of the trash bin. Once all the clamp bases are ready, I arm them up with a locating pin each, kept in position by some almighty Loctite 648. The clampy bits are narrower than the fixture edge, so I used some gauge blocks to level them for alignment. And look, I made the world's smallest violin. Well, 4 actually. Next, I forgot laying drill bits with no protection can be dangerous. There's a reason they say no glove, no love, which I know when machining comes with its own risks, but hey, speaking of glove fittings. And now we're almost there. I just need a set screw to set the clamping thickness and a clamping screw. By the way, I have no idea if something like this already exists. It probably does if it's a good idea. So I think it's time to finally find out if it works using this parallel. Once I determine the coordinates to center the parallel, I should be able to place it on the rotary table using the DRO and the clamps within at least 1 thou from the actual center of the table. Off camera, I made this broken end mill, and by setting it in the right coordinate, I can position the clamp against it where it belongs. My only doubt is the level of precision I'll be able to achieve just by eyeballing it. So I repeat the operation for 3 clamps and use the 4th to lock it in. Then I lock it down and it's very secure, with a nice clearance from the table. But is it centered? Well, I got the rotary table center on 1, so I switch on 2 and center on the parallel with the edge finder. So when I switch back on 1, we will be able to see the difference, and well, it's very on point on Y, but totally off on X. So much for eyeballing, huh? But I wonder if the edge finder could be a better aid in placing the pins in the right spot. And
Yes!
they work. These puppies work. There is still work to do. For instance, I'd like to find a reliable way to set them in position using an indicator and remove all the guessing work. Because if I can do that, I can calculate and position any kind of shape I want, which for the one-off hobby work I do, it's actually better than a regular fixturing plate. And I'd like to make more to hold different kind of stocks rather than just plates. The rotary table itself also needs some care to remove the deviation and the stiffness, but I'll be eager to have another date with these little things for the next project.